I'm a frog, yeah.
Yo, you ready for a CSS battle? Oh yeah! Go Patton! Pop, pop, bonus! Pop, 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 finishing move!
Whoa! Just got back from the lagoon and found target 70 Froggy. Let's jump right into it, shall we? Ribbit. Huh. Ooh, my God, a little bit sticky in that blue ball if you'd ask me. Anyway, I'm gonna show you the shapes first, and then we'll start building it out. We got a little nostril here, 10 pixels tall, 10 pixels wide, right in the center. I'll set it to red, but later when we actually start to build this, I'll make it blue. So the cool thing about box shadow is it replicates the shape of the element that you're adding the box shadow to. So if I set this box shadow to 10 pixels offset, I'll see the same shape next to it. So if I set this to 20 pixels, it's not gonna like grow from the size of the shape. It'll just offset at 20 pixels. But if I change the spread, it will then enlarge the spread by its radius. So if I increase it by 10, it's actually going to increase it by 20. So what I can do with that is, without using the spread, I can take this next value, this color here, add it on, and you basically created the nostrils right there. Maybe not in the same spot, but you can offset it to whatever. And it's basically like duplicating the shape without duplicating all the styles. Nice, right? So the next shape are these little itty bitty eyeballs. I say itty bitty, but them itty bitties be big. So I'm gonna increase the size of this shape just so I have an area to play with. And I'll show you what it's gonna look like as a radial gradient and also as an inset box shadow. So I'll start with inset box shadow just because it's way easier. Inset box shadow always starts with inset, but you set the spread to whatever you want it to be. So I want the spread, our color should be transparent. What am I talking about? Alright, put that sucker on there and make this transparent. Perfect. So it's inset 10 pixels, all around 10 pixel width. If I want to put a color underneath of that, I would just specify another comma here and do another inset. So you always want it to be larger, and I think that the ring that I have here for the eyeball is not thick enough, so I'll try 15 and keep it going. Alright, so I'm gonna put like 40 and close off this sucker. There won't be any differences, but if there's a shape underneath of this circle, there's a shape underneath, of course the color of that shape is going to show through. So you want your last box shadow in this instance to cover that shape just in case. The other thing that you could do, which is the crazy way to do it, is radial gradient. Radial gradient, oh my God, it always drives me bonkers, but I get it eventually. So we'll start with circle at center. This is just saying our shape is going to be a circle and the position is going to be center. So this value here could actually be 50%, and it's kind of like shorthand for 50%. So you can change the X and the Y axis if you want of where this circle is going to start. So I'll show you what I mean. I want it to start with this blue color. Okay, so I'll start with the blue color, put it 10 pixels. I want it to stop at the blue color and create a fine line. So I'm going to define the blue color again, and then start this little beige color we got going on. Okay, but I want it to start right where I ended off with the blue color. And then I want to continue it on for another 20 or so, however long that I want. So right now, our shape is 100 pixels tall and 100 pixels wide. But I only specified the radial gradient to stop at 20 pixels. Why? Why? Well, it's assuming that it just carries on forever. You never specified it to stop, so it's gonna go forever and ever and ever. And that doesn't work for us. So what you can do is you could specify transparent and stop it right there. Stop that sucker. Okay, I stopped it. Stopped it right in its tracks. But we'll keep going and add this sort of like neon red color. Because frogs are neon. They are neon red. What am I talking about? Perfect. Okay. And then I want to stop it at our next value, which I'll just say 30 pixels for now. But see, it's still going on. It's assuming that it's still going on with this red color. So what we'll do is just specify transparent right where we stopped. So bam, right there. And if I kept going with transparent and had it go all the way, you can see that it sort of fades out that red color all the way to transparent as far as it can go. We don't want that. No. We want it to stop. So we're gonna stop that sucker. Boom, we got an eyeball. That's a hot eyeball. And for this eyeball, I mean, there's two of them, right? So we gotta duplicate the eyeball somehow. So it's offset, it's not right in the center, it's offset by 20, however, I don't know this value yet. But you can see it's sort of cut off because it's defined by that 100 pixel tall, 100 pixel wide shape we got going on here. So if I increase the size, it gives more space for that gradient to breathe. Now if I wanted to add the other eyeball, I do, which I didn't copy it, Mr. Mimo Duo. And let's say I just want it to be 80% on the x-axis. So here we got our eyeballs. They be big, they be bulgy, but them's our eyeballs for this little ribbit master. So we defined all the shapes that we're going to use for this sucker. So let's start building it out. Okay, this is the tough part, right? Always doing the jimmy. I love putting padding on the HTML because I know there's like this ribbit face is going to be the axis for all the action going down. It'll be this red color. Yummy. For border radius, if you specify a percent, see it kind of doesn't give us the shape that we want, but if we use a hard value like pixel or VW, it'll give us that nice rounded effect. So never specify border radius 50% for like a button or anything. Just maybe set it as half the height of the button and don't put height on your button. Alright, so we rounded it off. It's definitely big as all get out. Yeah, that's a big mumbo jumbo. So let's put some padding on this sucker. And just so I don't trip up, I'm gonna nuke the margin on the body. That always gets me down the road, and I don't want that to happen to you guys, you know? Alright, so I definitely am too far away from where I want to go. Okay, that's definitely closer. I'm feeling it. I am feeling that. But I do want to put like an offset on the body. And this is top hand for margin top 28 pixels and then nuke the rest. The rest is 0, baby. Alright, so we're getting closer. I'm definitely still too far off. I'm gonna try 130. See if that. Welcome to The Price is Right. Ooh. Okay, so my sides look correct, but I'm still too far down. So maybe we'll try just flattening out that value. Our little ribbon machine is looking pretty good. So we got the face. My eyeballs are tripping a little bit. Yeah, they be tripping. It's like fuzzy, but oh, okay. Anyway, let's keep going with it. surprisingly, you can have any letter you want and it will actually work for the CSS battle, but don't do that in production. Oh, you're gonna be spiced up in production. No way. So I want to use F because it's just a frog. And for this, I want to specify the container for my little eyeballs to go at. I don't know how tall these bad boys are, but I know that I want the container to be the width of my frog. And I'll put radial gradients on them. We'll see. It's gonna be so spicy. We'll do a green. Okay. So it's too low. It's being contained in the body. Way too low. But if we use position relative, we can change the flow. We can change where this element is on the screen without messing up where it is in the document. So if you have some text that, or icon or whatnot, that you don't want it to mess up the layout, but you want to get it centered just right because it's like a pixel off, you could use position relative to achieve that. Okay. Oh, definitely not right. I'm feeling 20. Hold on, I'm feeling 25. Ooh, that's close. That's real close. Alright. I think my circles are going to be a little bit bigger. I will specify it's display block. Why would I need width 100%? Alright, that looks good. That looks good. I'd say so. Now forget this green. Let's do some radial gradients. I love me some radial gradients, baby. I must type radial gradients. Okay, so our circle is going to start, I'd say, 20 pixels from this side right here. So you can tell it's right where this red line starts and right where the face ends. That difference is what I want the offset to be. But I also want it to be 50% within this, this container. And the color is going to start at this blue. And I want it to continue on for about 5 pixels. And I want it to stop at 5 pixels. I want the next one to carry over. No, not that color. I want the beige color. Get out of here. Beige color will carry over. That's what I said. Oop. Circle at center. Okay. Wowie. That's definitely way off. We gotta find our center, baby. Oh, hey! I pulled that out of my butthole. Let me see. Yeah, that was from my butthole. Alright. I'm loving it. Of course, there's little tan colors going on to infinity. Nobody wants that. So let's stop that sucker. And then... That's a big... I think that tan is a little bit bigger than I'm giving it credit for. There we go. Carry it on. I want this one big one's pretty big too. And then let's stop that sucker. I always like to stop with transparent. Just makes me feel comfortable. You can do whatever you like. Oh, sugar. That's perfect. And if you want to have multiple radial gradients on the same element, you can just do a comma. And in a production environment, sometimes you want things to scale. And if you specified a value here, let's say like 100, that won't scale. If my element gets bigger, it gets smaller, it'll still stay at 100 pixels from the left. So what you can do is specify calc 100%. So now the midpoint of the circle is starting at the very right hand side of the container. No. That ain't cool. We want it to be offset by the same value that we started at on our first gradient, which is 40 pixels. So now we got a little we got little tutors up here, little hooters tutors, blinking at you. It's perfect. And if I increase the size of this shape here, which I'll do up here, our eyes scale 2. Nice. Perfect. Okay. So the tough part looks to be this little mouth here. What the heck is going on there? Looks like a big circle. So we could do that a few ways. We could do it with before on the body, which we actually don't have the container structure for because overflow hidden on the body does not work as you would expect it to in this case. So we'll put a, can you guess it? You can guess it, right? It's a radial gradient. Is it a circle? Radial gradient. Is it a triangle? Radial gradient. I'll just specify the center for now, but I feel like it's going to be way different once we're moving on with this. So we're actually going to switch the colors here. I want my circle to be red, but the background of this frog to be the deeper red. So where am I going to put this circle? Where am I going to start? Just a circle. Okay. Maybe one to... Oh my brain is frozen. Specify a big number. Whoopee. Okay. Yeah, it's covering our whole circle. It's right in the center. That's a big circle. So let's offset that as much as we can. I might actually do a pixel value for this. Oh my. What am I doing here, YouTube?
Posture. Check.
Q-Talks. Check.
Drink. Check.
Time to finish that frog. Now that we got that mouth rounded off, this little guy right here, we can start working on them little nostrils. So before I mentioned you could do the nostrils with either box shadow, like a pseudo before on the body element, or a radial gradient. Now the cheaper way with less characters would be radial gradient. So I'm gonna take that route. Specify my first gradient, circle at. We'll start at the center. I don't know where it's gonna end up, but center is a good place to start. Now it looks like it's 10 pixels, so I'll set it to 5 pixel radius. And then we want it to stop again at 5 pixels. And multiple gradients are separated, multiple backgrounds are separated by a comma. So it's definitely too tall. No. Or it's too high, too low. Just right. Thank you, CSS tricks.
His nose is kind of like this now. Yeah, it's a little.
Maybe 45. Oh, how dare you. 42. 43. It seems off by just a pixel. But then again, it doesn't. It just seems kind of fuzzy. And then to get that one on the other side, we'll start at 50%, and then we'll just adjust it from the same value that we set, which is 7% difference from outside. So I think we got it. We're pretty darn close, you know? It's kind of fuzzy. It's really sharp on my screen, which is tripping me up. Hopefully those are the right values. I'm gonna submit it. Wish me luck. Submit that stuff. Submit that stuff. I wanna do it. 100% match. I love you, Mr. Froggy. Okay, so we got all this stuff, and it's 1,498 characters. That ain't gonna fly. So there are a few tricks that you can do. And one of them is custom properties. Now, I went into the top solutions and I found that they use custom properties a lot. So a custom property, you start it with a dash dash, and it could be dash dash ribbit, and that would be a custom property. It could be dash dash doobity bobbity, that would be a custom property, but the cheap way is to just say dash dash. And we're actually going to use this same gradient here. These color stops, we're going to use it as our custom property. And custom properties, they're variables. So just think of them as variables if that makes it easier for you. But in order to use it, all we got to do is say var dash dash. Bam! Looks the same, right? Because it is the same. And then saves a few characters. You don't have to specify all that, all those stops. And an even cheaper way to write transparent is 000, which is black, but add another 0 and that specifies the alpha transparency. So we got to stop here. Boom. And an even cheaper way is to say 0 instead of 5 pixels, and that just stops at the last point that it ended. You don't even have to specify 5 pixels. And to make it even cheaper, this is repeated twice, and that ain't gonna fly. This value, however, is different. But like in the example before, you can just steal that. You can steal that sucker. And better yet, you can still use the same dash dash because it gets overwritten since it's part of the cascade. Now, if I do var dash dash, nice, I still got my stuff. If I delete this, it's gonna use the other gradient from before, the nostril. That's not good. Boom. All right, so we've overwritten it. It's following the cascade. And then we can just copy this baddie right over here. Yeah. Oh, and then I left the comment. Oh my gosh, the easiest thing you can do for yourself. Delete the comment. Delete the end bracket thing. Delete the last semicolon. Delete the last semicolon. And you can get rid of some pixel values in certain places. Like I could get rid of the pixel values here, and that'd be fine. And it still looks like the same old cute little frog. So again, dash dash, set that custom property, use it, var, and then hug it with some parenthesis love. Had a lot of goodies in this video. Hopefully a lot of goodies that you like. If you want to do a collab, I will battle the F out of you. I'm staring right at your face. I will battle you, sucker. And if you want to talk about CSS, Monster Hunter, K-pop, anything under the sun, corgis, you know it, frogs, ribbit, let me know. You guys are the best. See ya.